Hey, Tony talking trash back at y'all here tonight. Big up to everybody, especially my ECM crew. I got another one I'm going to show you all tonight. And this is my ECM number 9. Here we call this ECM-1187. This is one of the ones in the new Luminescence category. And the reason why it's kind of hard to find, German artist Rainer Brüninghaus Freigeweht. This album is very, very typical, and I don't mean typical by the talent, I mean archetypical, I should say, as to the ECM sound. I really consider the cleanness of this, the spaciousness of this. And another thing that got me about a record like this, there was another record that I've spoken about before that we're going to talk about later with Christy Doran and some other folks in it called Kukuruli or something it's called. This reminds me a lot of this. It's some wide open, beautiful jazz stuff. This is just spacious, beautiful jazz. All this composition by him, really beautiful. You've got the beautiful John Christensen again, as we've heard John Christensen already on this, really lead to some beautiful stuff like the stuff on New Dance he played. And he's just a real unsung character in the ECM catalog, and has really a nice counterpart to somebody like DeJohnette or somebody else who's another frequent drummer on there, just to provide the and Paul Motain and everything, to provide the whole spectrum of the sound of these guys. But you've got all these in German names. Freigeweht probably the best, but they're just different. It's just you've got them really stretching. It's recorded in 1980. And you've got really piano, flugelhorn, oboe, and English horn. So a lot of times the oboe is trying to play, I guess, the bass sense to this. There's a beautiful, Frederick Kunzmann puts in here a beautiful deal, but you don't hear a whole lot more. And I didn't hear a whole lot more from him going forward with this thing. And it's just a shame. He was just, he really came into, Garbarek's band. I mean, he really was linked up with Garbarek at a later point. And you guys already know from this how big of a figure that Jan Garbarek is. Really huge in this, and really has gone through a lot of permutations. And I have a couple other records here there that I'd like to really hammer that point home. But this is a really difficult record to get as an original record, but I think it's so important. And the cover and everything, it's just such a beautiful, spacious, nice record. I mean, you look back at some of the minimalist designs, the Steve Reich, some of the stuff of this, but you still have just some beautiful work. And the contra, a lot of times the contra theme by John Christensen and his cymbal work, and just the ability to use all the tonality of the kit. It's just, it's minimalism, but not restrained. It's not restrained to the point to where it shows what the ECM aesthetic is, to get the full sound, to get the full hall sound, to get the full sound of the room. And then once again, this is one of those records. And one of those records recorded in 1980, 1187. It's not one of the very first ones put out, but it is so typical, and it's so nice at this point of the catalog at 1187 to come back with a German artist such as this that has this style and this much towards a traditional jazz sound. And there was plenty at that time. We weren't quite, I'm not sure if we were into the point where we're bringing in all the Karen Mantler and all the different stuff that happened later. But I will say that this record is special and really reminds you of, to me, a hearkening back to the early thought and the early ideal as to what ECM had. And I think that's why they chose this record. And I think it's really special. And again, to think of this whole thing with no bass, you've got a flugelhorn and an oboe, really, and an English horn. But some of the tonality gained on this is just like every other one on this. I mean, they go the spectrum and they deliver. And this record will put you in a beautifully blissed out mood. It's not aggressive. It's up, it's down, but it's really leaps about in the place of grace, and just a beautiful record. Once again, high recommendations to pick up the reissue of Rainer Brüninghaus. And hell, if you get original, get one for me too. I'd like to have one. Anyway, thank you guys. This is another great recommendation. But while these things in Luminescence are in print, you should probably grab these. And I like to flip through them to see what's out there. And I'm trying to mix these in as we go through this stuff, guys. But we're just getting warmed up with ECM. We'll catch you guys later, man. Please leave your thoughts on this below, or anything else about this program or anything that we've done. It's great having you around. Thanks, brothers. See you.